So let's say you're a victim of a crime and the prosecutor decides not to prosecute. What do? Well, this woman, what she decided to do was call her own grand jury. And that grand jury can hire its own police and hire its own prosecutor to prosecute crimes on her behalf. And the kicker is, it's totally legal. Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Nate the Lawyer. If it's your first time here, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you like what you hear. This is a story of a woman named Madison Smith. Now, Madison was assaulted when she went to Bethany College as a freshman. Now, Smith admits that the encounter started off consensual, but things turned violent.
Hi, thank you for having me. So we were super good friends. We had hung out both alone and in group settings multiple times. I mean, we hung out 3 or 4 times a week, and we were in the laundry room doing laundry, and he's asked me if I wanted to go to his room, and I said, yeah. I didn't think anything of it. I've been there before, didn't think it would be a big deal, and we started talking about our futures, started to talk about where we wanted our lives to go, and he started talking to me, and we started having sex, and that was consensual. And then he began strangling me and slapping me, and that was not consensual. And when I tried to grab his hands off of my neck, his grip got tighter around me. So I genuinely thought that I was going to die, and the only way I would leave that room was in a body bag. So I did what I had to do to survive and walk out of that room. And thankfully I'm here and able to tell my story. And it's been a battle.
Now, the Washington Post reports that local prosecutors in McPherson County initially refused to press charges. Now, later the prosecutor changed his mind, and he actually won a conviction for felony aggravated battery. That's the most that this prosecutor believed that he could prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So ultimately, the county attorney charged Miss Smith's attacker with aggravated felony battery, and her attacker pleaded guilty last year to that count and served 24 months of probation. Now, Miss Smith was unhappy with this result. She believed that her attacker was undercharged. Now, Miss Smith's mom, Mandy Smith, started researching the topic. Now, as reported on the Insider, Mandy Smith and her husband worked in law enforcement for 23 years. And the family has many friends and relatives familiar with policing and criminal law. Now, this is where the story takes an interesting turn. They found a law that allows citizens in Kansas to summons grand juries when they think prosecutors are either neglecting bringing charges for crimes or are corrupt. Now, this law is known as the citizen-petitioned grand jury law. Now, these laws date back to the 1800s. Now, these citizen-petitioned grand juries are a way to protect citizens when authorities like prosecutors and police ignore violations of law. And that could be because of either negligence or corruption. So these grand juries have the power of any other grand jury. They can investigate crimes, and they can hire their own investigators, or they can hire their own prosecutor. And more importantly, they have full subpoena power. Now, this law is very rare in the United States. In the vast majority of states, 44 out of the 50 states, and the federal government, the prosecutor has the sole, and I mean sole, discretion in prosecuting crimes. See, if the prosecutor declines to prosecute, then there's nothing a victim can do. It's called prosecutorial discretion. Now, the citizen-petitioned grand jury laws were a way to combat this prosecutorial discretion, allowing citizens to impanel grand juries by petition. Now, Kansas is not the only state to allow this. 5 other states allow citizens to impanel grand juries through the process of collecting signatures through petitions. New Mexico, North Dakota, Nebraska, Nevada, and Oklahoma are the other states. Now, here are some examples of citizen-petitioned grand juries within the past 20 years. For instance, the death of Jared Clark in Oklahoma in 2008, an impaneled citizen-petitioned grand jury investigated that alleged crime. The George Tiller abortion clinic in Kansas was investigated through this citizen-petitioned grand jury. So how does it work? Well, in Kansas particularly, Kansas Statute Chapter 22, Criminal Procedure, Section 22-3001, grand juries, it gives 3 ways of grand juries being able to be summoned and impaneled. The first is a judge. Judges can impanel grand juries. The second are prosecutors. Prosecutors can also impanel grand juries. And the third way are through citizen petitions. Now, the way it works in Kansas, the petition has to have at least 100 signatures, plus 2% of the total number of votes cast in the governor's race in that county from the last election. So in this case, we're talking about 100 votes that are mandated by law, plus another 229 votes, for a grand total of 329 signatures, which are necessary to impanel a grand jury in that county. Now, when a petition is raised, then the grand jury is supposed to be impaneled within 60 days. So in the Smith case, the grand jury is set to be impaneled on September 29th, and that's because of COVID restrictions. So Ms. Smith got her petition, as you see here, with the 329 signatures. On September 29th, her mother, Mandy Smith, is going to try to argue to the grand jury that she believes the county attorney shouldn't be able to continue on with the case, essentially asking for the county prosecutor to be fired from the case. Now, if the grand jury agrees, they can hire their own prosecutor, and they can hire their own investigators to investigate the crimes. But here is where the rubber meets the road. See, we have a law here in the United States called double jeopardy. This is not the TV show Jeopardy, but the legal principle that an individual cannot be tried twice for the same crime. And in this case, her attacker was already tried and convicted of felony battery. So the Fifth Amendment to the United States prevents the government from trying this person again for this crime. Quote, "Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life and limb." So even though Ms. Smith was able to impanel her grand jury and maybe even able to investigate the crimes against her, her attacker will likely not be able to face charges because it would invoke double jeopardy. Now, even though Ms. Smith has impaneled her grand jury and will likely investigate the crimes against her, the legal outcome may be a little bit more tenuous. And that's because her attacker will not be able to be prosecuted for the same crime twice. And because of the prohibition on double jeopardy, it seems the grand jury's work will be in vain. But question of the day, what do you think about these citizen impaneled grand juries? Think about it. You can just petition, 300 or 400 people and actually impanel your own grand jury to investigate certain crimes. Do you think it's an appropriate check on the system? Now, if you like this video and everything I do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, join Patreon, grab a channel membership, get some merch. I will soon have merch. I'm designing it right now. There will be merch. Be kind to each other. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I am out. Peace.